Hey, it's my store, you guys. Come on, get out. I want to say that I did have two young men stop. Their names are JJ and Willie Mammuth. They came, they said, they stood there for me, out of the goodness of their heart, 3 a.m., just guarding my store because we were scared, to be honest with you.
Don't wait for like my life on the line. Jungle in these streets, speak the peace on the line. Hustle to increase, put it all on the line. House to spouse, family freedom, walking yards on the line. Every day, on the line, every day.
From that night,
great open door up in here.
All the emotion went on all the way up until where you're sitting at right now. How do you feel about? Because the stuff's still going on.
Oh yeah.
And they may be other two guys out there like this, maybe not. But for you still have some type of faith that there are other people like these two gentlemen or a group of people who can say, you know what, protesting is cool, but what y'all about to do, I ain't with that.
Yeah, wow, that's an interesting question because of the, like when I put the thing up, right, and the post, I blocked a lot of people. I had to block a lot of people because, and then I think it was
Explain why.
because people were saying specifically, constantly talking about him, but you with a white man. Okay. A lot of people don't know George Floyd was with a white woman. And they don't even, they try not to say that, but he was with a white woman as well. So is his life less, worth fighting for because he liked white women?
Last 10, right.
You know what I mean? So I'm getting a lot, and he knows I'm getting a lot of hate because I'm with him. But at the end of the day, those same people are about to go back to work with white people. Their bosses are white. Their friends are probably, some of them, white. And I think it's just, I'm having a hard time with not getting angry that people are, no matter what you do, people try to, break you down. And it's like, I stood for my store. This is about a woman that said, I'm not going to let you come and loot my store because what you're doing has nothing to do with George Floyd. I come from Houston. You know what I mean? My brother knew George Floyd. So if we want to go, just start breaking down, it means more to me because he went to Yates. I used to go to summer school at Yates. Debbie Allen and all them went to Yates. I ain't heard them. So yeah, they all went, right, they went to that school. My mother was the valedictorian of that school. So I have history. Houston, Texas, where he's actually from. So I have history. My grandparents, where he actually lived, my grandfather was one of the first realtors that created Third and Fourth World. He was one of the first. Ward, my fault. So I have history. So I'm not sitting here, bequeathing my blackness because I married a white man that treats me right. You know what I mean? And that's one of our problems is we want to judge each other so much instead of listening. Had those same people came in my store, the type of person I am, and they really needed it, I would have handed the clothes to them. Because am I not like that?
Yeah, you are.
I had clothes upstairs that I'm about to just go and give to, charities and stuff. Had you asked me, I would have just gave it to you because that's who I am. When our people come into my store, I'm more going to give you the discount than I'm going to give Karen. Because that's my store, and I can do that because that's what they do. They unite. They stay together. We have a problem. We cannot unite. We get mad at each other for you being better than me. You got higher than me. Instead of asking questions, how did you get that store? How ddid you make it up there? Beyonce, how did you get to be what, people need to start really telling their stories too, if you know what I mean. Right. You need to start telling your real stories. Right. It did not just happen with you singing and then suddenly you just big superstar. There's trials and tribulations that you before you got there. Just like for me and my store, I didn't just suddenly get a store. I worked my ass off to get a store. So a lot of people have been just nitpicking, well, this and you got insurance. And again, the most important one, now suddenly I got 2 black brothers and I got mixed kids and they just saying all kinds of crazy shit.
The people who don't know you from
don't know me from
They
Adam.
even said the story was fake. It was a
right. I read that one too.
And I want to say this to you, CC, because I read some of these comments, right? But I commend. I wanted to say so. I have a twin sister that's married to a white man. You feel me?
Oh.
So
he just laid everything out.
no, man, I mean, this is on the line. This is why it's gonna be one of the realest podcasts because it's not about sugarcoat nothing.
Okay.
Right.
Ain't nobody. These dudes never sugarcoat nothing. This is real. So my thing, I was reading the comments, and you get angry because not just because her sister. I'm like, what? Dude, my brother-in-law is white. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest dudes I know that would have been right there, like him for my sister.
Yeah,
my sister has a business.
And you would have looked at him totally different
Even less if he left.
Right.
If he would have cowed out because he would have died for my sister. That man would have died for her that night if they would have came up in there. You know what I mean? So and then the whole thing that's funny is we all out here protesting, rioting for equality, but you still making comments like that.
Like it's hypocritical.
So how do you want them to give us something if you still like, well, you married to a white man?
Right, like. Okay,
so you might as well support that white man that's in office then.
That's true.
Because basically you say there's a problem, but you want them to change something, but you're not willing to change your personal thoughts. For whatever reasons. So and then like I said, for us to be there, that's why, like I said, it wasn't about just black, because I have a niece and a nephew who are mixed. I love them. I have to. What you mean? Those are my niece and nephew. I don't look at them and be like, I'm gonna love them half because they're half white. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. That's why I say I do give it to him, and I wanted to comment, and I commend her for not commenting either, because it makes you hot. Because you looking like,
I was getting really pissed.
Out of all the stuff you can say, instead of being like, good, I'm happy you all right. Oh, thank you for them brothers. Y'all don't know what. Y'all don't know. She didn't pay nobody. She didn't know. None of us knew that none of this was going on. So she didn't do nothing out her way. We were just all there for each other, and she felt like in her heart to give us a thank you that when we left, they thank you for, hey, thank y'all for being here. That was good enough for us. If we never heard from Cece and them again, it wouldn't have been like, hey man, we went there last night. It was
that
nothing.
She didn't do nothing, just like normal black women.
I disagree. There's some strong sisters out there such as yourself. I know quite a few. I know about 5, 6, 7 of them.
And I'm sure they work hard, and I think that's just almost like it is kind of a spiritual thing, because we need to start looking at each other and looking at and getting to know each other. Don't judge me. You don't know what my life has been. You know, there was a me before him. There was a me before him. There's no way of you looking at me and just suddenly saying it was I don't even want to say she's my friend, but it was a person that pissed me off today.
Yeah.
Right. I was so angry that she did that, because what I had to do, obviously, like I said, these clothes are not all mine. So I had to hit my consigners and say, look, we were hit. I tried to hold the store down as much as I could.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do.
You mentioned it again?
Right. Yeah. And, people hit me, I'm so sorry, you should have never put your line on just for our clothes. What? My sister, she hits me and says, because I wrote the George Floyd, due to the George Floyd riots, But
you started off by saying the
looters have hit. I didn't say nothing about protesting, because suddenly you got to be very clear what you say. Yeah. So I said looters. And I didn't say anything negative, because this is business. There's a way to talk about business. She gonna hit me, sis. It's not the George Floyd riots. And then I'm going,
that's all you have to say?
That's all you got to say. You know me. You didn't know George, just to let you know. But you don't say, hey, how you doing? You okay? Is there anything do you know how many people that I don't know, more people that don't know me has reached out to me than people I actually know. People that are really, I like ride with almost every day, and they popping my bottles, by the way.
Because they went somewhere else.
Right. They just, but people what can we do to help? What can we do to help?
There was one lady who had a store in Santa Barbara. She called you. I answered or called her back. She just closed her store.
Caucasian woman. Just throw that out there.
Okay, well. She offers, or she says, $16,000 of goods that she still has in her stores, because they closed the store and they're moving out of Santa Barbara, that they are planning to give to us. Say, that is for you. Tell me when you are ready, when you're open. And that are people.
And that's what I expect.
People I've never talked to that person. No. Yeah.
What can I do to help you, sis? Don't come on after I just lost. And you sit up there talking to me about.
You personally know has
there are some friends that have, but there are some friends that haven't that I'm shocked that they haven't. You know what I mean? And people that, like I say, I know like this have not reached out to me. Yes, but no, there are people, even some celebrities that have hit me and said, "Hey, that has." But the people that I'm sitting here going, call me, and then someone like that to hit me, and what you do say, you don't ask about my well-being, you don't ask, are you cool? You gonna come and criticize me, and then gonna put in parentheses, sis, you're not my, and I told her straight up, you're not my sister if you ain't starting with the first line talking about how are you. You're not my sister. You sitting up there, and I understand her plight. Well, and then she started talking about how she protests. That's a beautiful thing. But if you can't start the line with how are you, that's not human to me. That's not humanity. Right. You're talking about something that has nothing to do. I wrote that as a business because that's what I have to do. I have to realize I have Black, Caucasian, Asian, I have all races as my consigners. I can't go in and spit and all of a sudden be this I'm Black and I'm proud person, because it's not, no offense, it's not what this is about, but it's not like somebody like that. And I threw that at her. When was the last time you've been in my store? When have you supported me? So please don't come at me with you putting your shit on me because I have my own shit. So, and she's never been in my store. She said she has. Girl, how long ago was that? 6, 7 years? I mean, what are you talking about? You don't, and that's the thing too about us. Don't be hypocritical. Don't sit there and say you for this cause, but you won't go to Black-owned businesses.
Ooh, that's deeper than...
You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and say, I'm for a cause, but you won't go to a Black-owned business. And when you do go to it, you want us to give you discounts. Right. I don't want to pay for that. Girl, sis, that's expensive, girl.
That right there, what you just said has been a problem, but the more of us meaning Black in the community, get our businesses, get more than one business. It seems like that's what comes up more and more and more. It's like, dude, even if you starting out with a t-shirt business or you starting out like this gentleman, he got an album coming out, why would I want you to give me your CD for free? I'm going to support you and pay for it.
Thank you.
Even if you charge me $15 for it and I give you $20, no, bro, keep the change. That's
support.
What people need to understand and about business is that when you work a regular job, I can go to get in and get my sick pay, and I can go, I got PTO and all that, but when you are for yourself, by yourself, all that stuff comes from you. You are your doctor. You are your vacation to take out what you need to do. You don't have to call in and say, I got sick days, so it don't work that way.
At all. But it's harder for and I also want to say it's so hypocritical because they'll sit there and say, well, can you give me the discount or or for free? But then we'll go over to a Caucasian store and like a Gucci and just put all kinds of money. They don't question them. Well, can't I get a discount?
No, they don't do that.
And they're not going to do it. So don't come. And, if you're going to do this, do it the right way. Do it. Don't be hypocritical. And you support that. And no one understands. And when I was talking to you about it the other night about there's an economical way of thinking about this. The reason why I'm saying don't loot. What are you looting for? Because at the end of the day, don't go to the store. Don't go to the Ralph's or the Target. Our dollars are the am I right? If they didn't have our dollars, if we weren't sitting there watching Netflix, you know what I mean? It's us that they're doing all this to create race war within. Because now it's starting to be classism. Those looters were not doing that because of no George Floyd. They're doing that because you have it, I don't, and it's mine. And that's not...
we record, right?
Oh, sorry.
But you
I mean, looters, but it's looters. But that's what we call them. That's what their term is. What else?
Walks like a duck, looks like a duck.
That's what they were. They were looters. You saw them with your own eyes even when you were there trying to go in my store. I mean, and that's what the term, it would be looters. I didn't say protesters. I said looters.
No, I wasn't talking about that. But I think you said it right. Not to interject, but man, it was different. And
they were young, and they were younger. They were young.
And to mention, let me say this: most of them weren't Black.
Aha.
Now let's get to the point. Me and him were talking the other day, and we was like, man, how many black people did we see out there? And I was like, man, not really that many. Maybe 100 or less. But I'm like, really, it was just a lot of just different races. It was a lot. Someone was dressed like ninjas.
You don't even know who
they were. But to put it out there that this was a collective group of all races. Let's just say that.
Okay, that's
so this wasn't just the black people out there wilding out. No, I think why the hood areas were not hit that most because there wasn't a lot of hood people out there. That wasn't a lot of people from Compton, Watts, L.A., Long Beach. That wasn't.
That makes sense.
You know we record, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But that's what and that's why when we talking about this situation, when she said this is about all of us, this is about everybody because everybody was out there getting
Mm-hmm. They were.
Everybody was out there looting. Everybody.
They were.
So just like everybody was protesting, the same way those protesters looked diverse. That's the way.
That's how those looters look. Except they had on all black.
Every day on the line. 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 Every day digital soapbox. Every day on the line. I remember every day on the line. Every day on the line.